morning. So I think in the last class I dealt with the theorem, that is the Lorentz force can be expressed as sum of two surface forces. One force must be in the form of normal to the surface and another must be in the direction of magnetic field lines. We proved that theorem yesterday. Today I am going to prove the Alfvén wave equations, how they look and what are the uses of Alfvén wave equations. Okay, but today I am going to just derive the Alfvén wave equations for an incompressible, non-viscous, perfectly conducting fluid. You know what is incompressible, what is non-viscous, and what is perfectly conducting fluid. Okay, for that fluid we are going to derive the Alfvén wave equations in the presence of a uniform vertical magnetic field. So let us see how to derive these equations. Okay, and then so you have all given the attendance through the WhatsApp. Thank you very much. So if anyone forgotten to give the attendance in the WhatsApp, please give it soon, because I have to submit it to the university. I have to know how many of you are following the videos and the notes and the other updates, whatever the teachers have given in the group. Okay. So now, to derive the Alfvén wave equations, please come to my notepad. Alfvén wave equations. Alfvén wave equations. Okay. Now we have to derive Alfvén wave equations for an incompressible, right? Incompressible, non-viscous, perfectly conducting fluid in the presence of a uniform, okay, this is very important thing, in the presence of a uniform vertical magnetic field, okay, in the presence of uniform vertical magnetic field. Vertical means it is applied in the direction of Z. If it is the direction of the flow, then there will be the magnetic field applied in the vertical direction. Okay, so means it is perpendicular to the flow direction. Okay, vertical magnetic field. To derive these equations, we are going to use the basic equations of MHD for an incompressible, non-viscous, perfectly conducting fluid in the presence of uniform vertical magnetic field. So see, the momentum equation is given by rho into del Q by del T plus Q dot del of Q is equal to minus gradient of P. Okay, I am not going to write now, plus, so I am going to neglect the gravitational force and the Lorentz force, J cross H, mu into J cross H. You know J cross H can be written as del cross H, and you know how to expand this by using vector identity. In the previous classes we expanded this. So, and on simplification you are going to get P plus mu h square divided by 2, plus mu into H dot del of H, means H dot gradient of H. Here, so these two terms, gradient of this and this one, are obtained from the expansion of the Lorentz force. Okay. Now, the continuity equation is given by del dot Q is equal to 0. Call this equation as number 1, this equation as number 2. And the magnetic induction equation is given by del H by del T is equal to del cross Q cross H. Del cross Q cross H. So this is the magnetic field equation. And other one is solenoidal property, that is del dot H is equal to 0. Call that equation as number 4. Okay, this is the momentum equation, continuity equation, magnetic induction equation, and the solenoidal property. Okay, now, so as you know, now we are going to derive the Alfvén waves. Now we are going to conduct the Alfvén waves So in a perfectly conducting non-viscous incompressible fluid, okay, incompressible fluid with the velocity 0 means stationary fluid. Stationary fluid means velocity is 0. And in the presence of vertical magnetic field, that is uniform vertical magnetic field, means H should be in the direction of K only, because so vertical, this denotes vertical, and it is uniform. That's why I am going to take H naught as constant. Okay, means uniform. You know, that's why H naught acts as constant, and K is in the direction of Z. Means so it is vertical magnetic field. Now, so here we are going to assume that the density is constant. Rho is equal to some rho naught. And also the pressure is at basic state, and it is known as so P naught. P is equal to P naught. It is at the basic state. Therefore, the basic state is given by Q is equal to 0, H is equal to H naught into K, and rho is equal to rho naught, and P is equal to P naught. This is the basic state of the system. Is it right? So clearly this basic state of the system satisfies the given equations. Now substitute these basic state in the in the momentum equation, this one. By substituting that, you know, del Q by del T becomes 0 because Q is 0. So del Q by del T is equal to 0, and this term will become 0. And here, what about this term? So as you know, H dot gradient of H means, so it becomes, so this is with respect to x, y, z. So this is, there will be only H naught into K. By differentiating H with respect to Z, this term will become 0 because it is uniform. So that's why this term will also get 0. Only remaining this term. From that term you are going to get, equation 1 implies, right, 0 is equal to minus gradient of P plus mu into H square divided by 2 only. Okay. So call this equation as some number 5. Whatever the number. Okay. So this is equal to 0. So obviously the continuity equation satisfied as Q is equal to 0. And obviously Q is equal to 0, this term will become 0, and this is H is uniform, that's why derivative becomes 0. That's why this equation is also satisfied, and this equation is also satisfied for the basic state what we have considered. For this state, all the equations have satisfied, but you are going to get only one term, that is 0 is equal to like this. Now, so we have to give, to propagate the waves, Alfvén waves, we have to give the perturbation. What do you mean by perturbation? Perturbation means simply we are going to give the disturbance. Then what it means, look here, as you know from your, 10th standard onwards, so how to find the determinant? If two rows or two columns of any matrix are equal, then the determinant value is 0. But here I am giving small perturbation to any one of the element. Any one of the element means I am going to disturb any one of the element in that matrix. So means for this or this or this or this. So by adding very small quantity or by subtracting very small quantity to any one of these, then you can verify it. It is not possible to get 0. Means it becomes non-zero when we are going to perturb the quantities. Means perturbation means, I think now you are able to understand. Perturbation means you are going to give some small disturbance, okay, to the system. Now I am going to perturb the quantities velocity, magnetic field and pressure. For these I am going to take the perturbation as Q is equal to original state, basic state is 0. plus the perturbed quantity is q dash. Similarly, so h is equal to, so h naught into k plus h dash. I am going to give the small perturbation h dash. Okay. And also for pressure I am going to give P naught plus P dash. These Q dash, H dash and P dash, these are the basic state. Velocity 0, magnetic field H naught into K and pressure P naught are the basic state of the system. But these are the perturbed quantities. So Q dash, H dash and P dash are the perturbed quantities. Here one thing you should observe. It means they are very small. Means suppose you take it as 0.5. Very small means 0.5. What about the multiplication? I mean product of the same number, then it will become product 0.25. Means 0.5 reduces when by taking the product. Product of two small numbers becomes again a small number. That's why these are very small. That's why product of these quantities becomes very small. That's why we are going to neglect these terms when they come, when they appear in the equation. If the product of perturbed quantities appear in any equation, then we are going to neglect those terms when compared to addition or subtraction. If we come across addition or subtraction, we are not going to neglect, but only when we come across the multiplication, in that situation we are going to neglect those terms. You should remember why, because multiplication becomes very smaller. Right. Now, substituting these quantities in equation 1 to 4. 1 to 4, what are those equations? Basic equations of MHD. One is momentum equation, as you know. So these are the basic equations. One is momentum equation, 2 is continuity equation, 3 is magnetic induction equation, and 4 is solenoidal property of the magnetic field. Now substitute these quantities in equation 1. By substituting that, look here, del q dash by del t, rho into del q dash by del t, okay, plus q dot del of q, q dot del of q. By taking there, surely you are going to get the product of perturbed quantities. That's why that term will become 0. Because you come across the product in that term. That's why, so we are going to neglect that term, is equal to minus gradient of P plus P naught plus P dash. P means P naught plus P dash plus mu by 2 into h square means h naught plus h dash square. Is it right? Plus, okay. So now close the gradient, plus mu into h naught plus h dash, right? H naught plus h dash dot. So gradient of, dot gradient of. So what you will get? So you are going to get, so h means h naught plus h dash. Is it right? So this dot gradient of this one. Now, so expand this equation. This will become rho into del q by del t, del q dash by del t, rho. This is equal to, now I am going to split the terms, minus gradient of P naught plus P dash. Here by expanding this you are going to get, so mu by 2 outside, h naught square plus 2 times h naught into h dash plus h dash square. Is it right? This is product of perturbed quantity. That's why I am going to take this as 0, means I am going to omit that term. So now remaining are only these two. By taking these two, you are going to get P naught plus mu into h naught square divided by 2 minus gradient of P dash plus, right? So 2 h naught h dash, mu by 2 get cancels, mu into h naught into h dash plus Okay, look here. Here you have to expand this term. So here you are going to get 4 terms. How do you get? Mu into H naught dot gradient of H naught plus mu into H naught dot gradient of H dash plus mu into H dash dot gradient of H naught plus mu into H dash dot gradient of H dash. Is it right? Look here, this will come across, here you're going to get the product terms, that's why this term is 0. This term is also 0 because gradient is applied on a uniform vector, means constant. So that's why the derivative on constant becomes 0. Here it will not become 0. Here this term also becomes 0 because here also derivative is applied on a constant vector, uniform vector. So that's why the remaining term is rho into del q dash by del t is equal to minus gradient. Look here, so minus gradient of mu naught h square by 2. So from equation 5, you know that minus gradient of p naught, I forgot to write, p naught h naught square divided by 2, because by applying this basic state, this equation gives like this, equation 5. Equation 5 says this term should be equal to 0. That's why this quantity here, this quantity will become 0. Is it right? Because of equation 5. Now the remaining is only this term, that is minus gradient of p dash plus mu into h dot into h dash plus mu into h naught dot gradient of h dash. Okay, so call this equation as some other number 6. There will be continuity or continuous equation or ABC as you wish, no problem, right? Okay, so now you obtain from equation 1 you obtain this equation. Next substitute, equation 2 will becomes, equation 2 is nothing but del dot q is equal to 0. By substituting the perturbed quantities, perturbed quantity means q is taken as 0 plus q dash. That's why by substituting in equation 2 you are going to get gradient of, divergence of q dash is equal to 0. Call this equation as number 7. And now come to equation 3. Equation 3 is nothing but magnetic induction equation, del h by del t is equal to del cross q cross h. Is it right? So now substitute what is, perturbed quantity of h and perturbed quantity of q in this equation, then that will become del by del t of h naught plus h dash is equal to curl of q dash plus h naught plus h dash. Okay, h naught plus h dash. So this is the perturbed velocity and this is perturbed magnetic field. Now it will become, so del h naught by del t, it becomes 0 because constant, and remaining is del h dash by del t is equal to, curl of q dash plus h naught dash, h naught plus curl of q dash plus h dash, q dash plus h dash. Is it right? So you can express in this manner. You can express in this manner. So because, so h is given by like that and h dash is given by like this, right? So now this is, not plus, curl. This is curl of this, curl of this. This is curl. Here I forgotten to write this one. This is curl, curl of this. Here q dash is perturbed, h dash is perturbed. That's why this quantity becomes 0. Now simply you are going to get q h dash divided by del t is equal to curl of q dash plus h naught dash. So q dash plus h naught dash. From again vector quantity, I mean vector identity, you know that curl of A cross B is equal to, you know, B dot del of A plus del dot B of A minus A dot del of B, okay, plus del dot A of B. This is the, sorry, minus. This is the vector identity what we have used, right? So by substituting A is equal to Q dash and B is equal to H naught, this equation will become, what it becomes, B means H naught dot del of A means Q dash plus del dot H naught into Q dash, of Q dash minus Q dash dot del of H naught plus, minus del dot Q dash of H naught. So using equation 7, this says this is 0. Del dot Q dash is equal to 0. And from solenoidal property, you know, divergence of H naught is 0. That's why these two become 0. And from this, the derivative is applied on the constant, I mean uniform vector. That's why this quantity becomes 0. So therefore, simply you are going to get del H dash by del T is equal to, so H naught dot del of Q dash. So now apply the gradient operator on this, then you are going to get del H dash by del T is equal to H naught into, so by applying this, this is dot. Now you are going to remove, now it will become del Q dash by del Z only, because only along Z direction. That's why apart from Z, all the derivatives becomes 0, means with respect to X and with respect to Y. So simply you are going to get this equation and call this equation as the next number, what is 78, okay. Now, so this is due to the magnetic induction equation. Now substitute the perturbed quantities in the, so what is that, solenoidal property, that is del dot H is equal to 0. It implies del dot H means H naught plus H dash is equal to 0. It implies divergence of H naught plus divergence of H dash is equal to 0. But you know, this is 0. It is due to the basic state of the system. That's why now you are going to get the new system, that is divergence of H dash is equal to 0, and call this equation as number 9. Okay. Now, taking the divergence on, so the equation what we obtained from the momentum equation, for this equation I am going to take the divergence. So you came to know that, so laterally why I have taken the divergence to this equation. Now just take the divergence, so on both sides of this equation, okay, equation 6. By taking that, you are going to get, what is that equation? So rho into del by del T of divergence of Q dash, because you know the differential operator is linear, that's why. So you can take divergence outside or inside, that doesn't matter. This is equal to, so this equation you know, minus divergence of gradient, divergence of means that becomes Laplacian of P dash plus mu into H naught into H dash plus mu into H naught into, the next term is this one, mu into H naught into the gradient of, so instead of writing this, you can write this as mu into H naught into del H dash by del Z. Here also you can write in the same manner. by substituting, by taking divergence, it will become, so H naught into del by del z of divergence of H naught, divergence of H dash. But you know that divergence of Q dash is 0, divergence of H dash is 0. That's why simply you are going to get minus Laplacian minus or plus. Now that doesn't matter because left hand side is 0. That's why simply Laplacian of P dash plus mu into H naught into H dash. It means that this function satisfies the Laplace equation. Is it right? This is look like a function, some f or any, right? So this function satisfies the Laplace equation. That's why it must be have the solution. That solution must be of the form P dash plus mu into H naught plus H dash is equal to a constant. E form only. So you are going to get the solution. The solution of the Laplace equation must be of the form P dash plus mu into H naught H naught into H dash is equal to 0. Right. Now, so this is 0. This is not 0. This is equal to a constant. Substitute this solution into the equation, right? Where, so look here, equation 6 says, so this is like this. Suppose this is constant, then you obtained it as a constant, then applying the derivative on this one, then that term must be 0. That's why the remaining terms are given by rho into del q dash by del t is equal to mu into H naught into del H dash by del z, okay. So by taking rho to this side, it will become rho into this much, okay. Again, by differentiating on both sides, so you are going to get, so now is it necessary to differentiate? 1 minute. Okay, by differentiating this one, you are going to get del by del, differentiating with respect to t, del square by del t square of q dash is equal to mu into H naught by mu into H naught into del by del z of del H dash by del t, because differentiating on both sides with respect to t, okay. But del H dash by del t you obtain from the equation, del H dash by del t is equal to like this. Equation 8 says del H dash by del t is equal to like this, means H naught into del q dash by del z. By substituting this in this equation, you are going to get del square q dash by del t square minus, is equal to mu into H naught, so by substituting this, so that is nothing but H naught into del q dash by del z. That's why one H naught comes outside, that will become H naught square into del q dash by, del square q dash by del z square. Is it right? Because it becomes del q dash by del z, applying z, so you are going to get, so del square z q dash by del z square. Now call this equation as, and in the next continued equation, that is equation number 10. So now, so by row, I forgotten to write row here also, right. Now I am going to substitute this term as some a square. I am going to take the notation a square is equal to mu H naught square divided by rho. A is equal to square root of mu H naught square divided by rho. Then a square must be equal to, so this term, because square root of this I am going to take this as a. Therefore, this equation will become del square q dash by del t square is equal to a into del square q dash by del z square. Call that equation as 11. And this A, so that is given by like this, is called as Alfvén velocity. Remember that it is called as Alfvén velocity. This A is called as Alfvén velocity, right? Similarly now, so differentiate this equation. This one means, so you have substitute this, equation 8 with respect to z. I mean with respect to t again on both sides. And now I am going to differentiate this equation with respect to t on both sides. Then what you are going to get, this is the equation. Okay, this is the equation. Now you are differentiating with respect to t on both sides. Then this equation will becomes del square h dash by del t square is equal to, so h naught into del by del z of del q dash by del t, del q dash by del t. Is it right? Okay, by differentiating on both sides you are going to get like this. But from equation which one? This one. From this equation you know that what is del q by del t. Del q dash by del t is nothing but, so mu h naught by rho. So mu h naught by rho into del h dash by del z. Substitute this equation here. Then this equation will becomes del square h dash by del t square is equal to, so here mu h naught by rho is there and 1 h naught is here. That's why mu h naught square divided by rho into del square h dash divided by del t square. So sorry, del z square. Okay, del square h dash by del z square. Again this is A, that's why this equation will becomes del square h dash by del t square is equal to A into del square h dash divided by del z square, and call this equation as number 12. Okay, so now equation 11 and 12. So this is with q dash with respect to t and z. This is h dash with respect to t and z, and Alfvén velocity A. These two equations are nothing but the Alfvén wave equations. Okay, these two equations are nothing but the Alfvén wave equations, and q dash and h dash, q dash and h dash, okay, propagate as waves in the direction of z, means in the direction of magnetic field. Okay, propagate as waves in the direction of magnetic field. Okay, look here, A is given by, your A is given by square root of mu into h naught square divided by rho. If the magnetic field h naught is equal to 0, means h is equal to h naught into k. That's why if the magnetic field 0 means h naught must be 0. If the magnetic field is 0, then your Alfvén velocity A must be equal to 0. A must be equal to 0 means, so from these two terms you are going to get nothing. It means that, so without magnetic field there will be no Alfvén waves. To get the Alfvén waves there must be the magnetic field. Okay, therefore Alfvén waves propagates purely because of magnetic field. In the absence of magnetic field, waves will not propagate. Okay, so this is the derivation of Alfvén wave. This equation and this equation are known as Alfvén waves, and remember that Alfvén waves are in the direction of z, and it means that it is in the direction of magnetic field. Okay, and if magnetic field is 0, then there will be no Alfvén waves, because your Alfvén velocity becomes 0. That's why h should be non-zero. It means that Alfvén waves are purely because of what? So your magnetic field. Okay, so this is regarding the derivation of the Alfvén waves. Please go through it. So if you can't understand, so don't hesitate to put a message. Okay, so all the best. Thank you.